Well, how good is this? I've just, that's my home brewing kit. It was delivered to my door. The company that I'm dealing with, they've got really good reviews, and a woman just came. It's about 5:30 in the afternoon, and a woman who works at the actual company. She lives in Kawara Beach, just up the road from me, near where the shops are. So she's just dropped it off for me, so I didn't have to pay anything for postage. I mean, that's a great deal, isn't it? So yeah, I'm very impressed with that. And she told me that she used to be working in the travel industry, and of course that's gone defunct. So there's a lot of people looking for different careers, obviously, and but she's been in Kawara for 30 years, so she knows it really well. So yeah, I'm really impressed. So I'll get stuck into it. Well, I don't know when I'm going to start. I probably should tonight, but I had a bit too much of the red last night. I had the majority of the litre bottle over there. You can see on the bench. I had over a. I had the whole quantity except for one glass, which I just had now. So I did a bit of a hair the dog thing. So it feels all right, but I won't be drinking anything else tonight. Well, I don't have anything else here, so that's a good way to control my consumption. I'll probably pick up a bottle of gin tomorrow from Dan Murphy's because they're such good value, because I'm going to go to Smithfield. So, but yeah, I'm very impressed with this mob. They're very good. So, and they reckon that the cans water's fine. I don't have to get the spring water. But if I did, it'd only cost me about $12 to actually fill the 30-litre container and get it delivered through Coles. And there's no need to have a car either. So if I do want to try that, it's not that difficult to do. So it's working out well. The only thing you've got to be careful with home brewing, especially up here, is doing it during summer, because it can get very hot. And I think the ideal temperature is supposed to be about 16 degrees for brewing. So it's going to be a lot hotter than that during summer. So I better get a couple of brews out of the way prior to summer, the way things are going. So sounds good to me. A good project to work on. Well, taking the early bus. It's the 8:50 to Smithfield today. Got a couple of things got to do. Get some the reliable dog bark. Oh, got it from both sides. Oh, I got some fantastic information from one of my subscribers, Vivian. She's a very knowledgeable woman, and she basically told me that bloody hell, they're crazy at the moment. Oh, I don't normally get that many dogs going crazy. It's every single place. Anyway, Vivian informed me that the name of the birds that have got that really weird bird song, which is like a whistle, is a curlew. So it's Curlew is how it's spelt. And they're sort of like a mini stork type bird. They're not that big, but they, or maybe a poor man's emu. I don't know how you describe them, but I don't think they're particularly big birds. But I knew I had the right one because there's a couple of YouTube videos that actually confirmed the noise they made. That's the beauty of having something like YouTube. You can get that sort of information confirmed very easily that way. So, yep, that mystery's solved. Thank you very much, Vivian. You got it. I think someone else might have mentioned that name to me previously, but I didn't actually know how it was spelled, so I couldn't really look it up. But yeah, she was spot on. That is definitely the bird that I hear quite regularly around the area. I hear a number of different birds, but that one really stands out. And like I said, for at least a couple of years, I thought it was some crazy kid blowing some sort of a flute or something in the early hours of the morning when I was in Parramatta Park. So talk about, I had no idea what was going on. So yeah, look at that. You can see those clouds just hovering above the hills. that's a regular occurrence in the mornings. It's quite spectacular. Because I've got an earlier start here, it's only about 20 to 9 as opposed to the 20 past 9 bus I usually take. You can get a bit more of that sort of action. So I'm pretty early. I'm probably about, it's probably, the bus probably won't be here for another 5 minutes or so, so have a bit of a chin wag. Yes, I'm a bit concerned about what's happening in the States on a number of fronts. To me it seems as if they're the Biden administration's acting more like the way the Un-American Activities Committee worked in the 50s with the anti-communist purges that took place, you know, against Hollywood and other areas back then. It seems to me as if we've got a flip side to that now with this 6th of January commission, where they've got a couple of basic rhinos on this committee, so they make out that it's bipartisan, which it isn't, because I mean Liz Cheney is an absolute apologist for the Democrats. She's a shocker, and she's going to get her ass kicked when it comes to her pre-selection in her state. So she just doesn't represent the views of the people she's supposedly representing, so she's in for a bit of misery. But really, people have been talking about the way things are being run with the Biden administration. Seems like out and out fascism, because they're politicizing organizations such as the FBI to make them basically an organ used by the government to enforce their views on everyone. It's they weren't meant to be politicized, but now they are. And it's a very, very dangerous trend, and it's a classic trend of a totalitarian regime, whether it be fascism or Stalinism. I mean, you go to both ends of the political spectrum, and they virtually touch one another anyway, because they've got a lot of commonalities in both of those doctrines. And you know, you could substitute the FBI. Maybe is going to be turning into the KGB, an organ of the Democrat Party, as opposed to a police force that carries out its tasks without the political agenda. And that is a real worry if that's the way it's going to go. I think it's great that there's going to be these midterm elections, because I think the Democrats are going to find out that they are way overstretched, and they're going to get their asses absolutely kicked in America, and it's going to be a huge wake-up call for them, and the sane part of that party might reassert itself, as opposed to the Fruit Loops like AOC and Ilan Omar. I mean, God, they've got some drop kicks in that party, I tell you. And it's in Pelosi's way past her use by date. She should have retired decades ago. Just a terrible party. Oh, there's the bus, so it's making its trip down to Cottesloe, where that lovely lady who dropped off my home brewing kit comes from. She claims that she actually lives on Cottesloe Road near the shops, and says she doesn't hear any of the traffic. She's got great insulation, so that's good for her. But that was amazing customer service for this mob to actually drop off the kit, because normally you'd have to pay for it. It would cost $25 through Australia Post, but seeing she lives just down the road, you know, literally 5 minutes away by car, she didn't mind dropping it off for me at about 5:30 last night. It's brilliant. The box doesn't look that big. I don't know how they fitted all this stuff in there. I don't know. Maybe things are collapsed, and they I mean, the plastic bottles I guess you can compress, but yeah, it doesn't seem like that big a package. So I'll open it up when I get back from the shops, and go through the instructions and try to get the brewing process happening. I'd like to do it as soon as possible, because my understanding is it's going to, once you get them into the bottles, you've still got to wait a few weeks after that as well. So it's going to take in excess of a month for the whole system to go through, so I can actually have drinkable beer. So it's going to be a while. Yeah, it's annoying when you actually got a whole lot of bags to fill up at the supermarket, and the person serving you doesn't even offer to help pack the bags. And that just happened then, so not impressed with Woolworths on that one, because I had a lot of stuff to pack, and he didn't offer once. So I think that's rather poor. It's been one of those yetchy days too, because I actually got to see the bike, the Copenhagen bike. They've actually got it in stock there. They hadn't forgotten about me. It's just that the servicing guy wasn't there last week, so they'll give me a call once he's had a look at it, because it's a squeaky wheel. It looks quite nice. It's black, so I like the look of it, and they're holding it for me, so that's good. And hopefully I'll get a phone call from them, and I might be riding my way back from the shops at some stage the next few days, which would be nice. But yeah, today's been a bit, because I couldn't get one of my medications either. That was a problem. So it's been one of those little frustrating days. I haven't been able to get a lot of things done. So, but at least I know I'm definitely going to get the bike at some stage soon, unless there's some amazing mechanical issue with it and they can't do anything. So last time I was here, someone actually went across the road to get to presumably to Bunnings, but I've got about 10-15 minutes before the bus arrives, and hopefully keep my finger away from the lens. I've got a horrible habit of keep doing that with this camera, but I got myself a big mug at Kmart, so that was good. So I've got to replace my big mug for my coffee in the morning, so it'll save me a little bit of work. So it's all good. I also asked about, when I asked about this overpass, this pedestrian overpass, it's not the council's responsibility, it's the state roads, because it's obviously a highway. And they did say they might do something about once the bypass is finished, which is taking a long time. Apparently it's ahead of schedule, but you wouldn't know it. Once that gets done, then the traffic flow along here will be less, and they might do something for pedestrians crossing the road, which would be good. The other thing they could do is change the bus route so that it actually goes on the other side of the road before it heads off to Trinity Beach. That would be a smart move. There's a couple of things they could do, and I think it's about time something was done. Yeah, another great day here. It's around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Just got another huge frond fell off the tree there, one of the palms. It's got really severely serrated edges just down the bottom there, so got to be careful picking that little bastard up. Just wanted to show you the peas. I'm almost convinced now that this is a pea plant, because it's got these runners out here at the top here, classic sort of designed for a climbing plant. And it looks super healthy. It's really doing well. I'm very happy with that, as opposed to my dying bottle brush. That's another story. So yeah, I gave all these plants a soaking this morning, and I think that's actually in reasonable nick now. The leaves look smaller on the Vietnamese mint, but it seems to be doing okay. Oh, and the other thing is, one thing I forgot to mention here is there's a second capsicum that's sprouted, so that's good. So we've got one there. I don't know how close I can get with this to be and still be clear image, but that just had a go at it, and this is the second one here. So now we've got two there. I think I planted about 4, so it's about a 50% germination rate. I think there's actually a little bit of life here too. This is, yes, there is. See there, that's the first of the peas that are coming out of this one. So yeah, I'd like, it'd be great if the peas grow well, because it's quite versatile with the climbing peas, because if you actually harvest them young, then you can have them uh, the pea in the pod itself and just eat the whole thing, snow pea in other words. If you let it go later, you can actually eat them like conventional peas. Just take them out of the pod, so you've got all that flexibility. And with capsicums, you've got flexibility too, because it depends when you harvest them as well. You can get you can have them green, which I like, or you can let them go yellow or red. Apparently, if you want to use the seeds, the best thing is to let them basically get totally ripe, in other words red, and then you take the seeds out of them after that point, and apparently they're okay. As I say, the only real success story back here is this is the mint. I made one crucial error today. I really got to make lists up because I didn't get any shredded parmesan. So one thing I forgot to buy today when I went down the street, so I may have to do that trek to the to Clifton Beach tomorrow to go to the Coles there. So that'll be a nice 45-minute walk. If it's weather like this, it's not so bad. It's the time of year to do it. Really looking forward to hearing about the a bike from Kmart. At least I know it's there and it looks good. Whether it's functional or not, it's another question. Got a census form. We're going to have to do the census again apparently. So that just came through the mail today. I've sent off an email to the Cairns Council regarding me not getting any pension discounts on the rates notice I just got. So that's presumably some sort of a clerical error or some sort of administrative issue that needs to be addressed. I mean, if I'm getting the discount with my energy with Ergon, I don't see why I wouldn't still keep it with the council. It's a $1,500 bill too. It's the biggest one I've had from the council. Normally they're around 1,000. I get them twice a year and I'm up for a couple of grand generally. So we'll see what happens. That should just be a formality, as I said. So there was something else I wanted to mention. I haven't opened up the home brewing kit yet. I've got to get onto that. That's another biggie. Oh, the other thing I haven't mentioned is there's a demo for a game called what is it called again? It's a World War II game, and I just can't remember the bloody title. Oh, that's embarrassing. It's the third iteration of this particular game, and it's surprising that the gaming company is actually is releasing this. They're releasing on the basis that you can actually sign up to play it, but you have a limited period to play it. I wasn't aware of that, and I actually did download it. It's about 18 gigs on my hard drive, and it's called Company of Heroes, by the way, and it's Company of Heroes number 3, and there was 2 iterations of it. The last one I think was 2013, so it's been a long time between drinks, and it's a pretty impressive first-person role-playing game. So it's in real time, which is not exactly what I want to do, except that they've actually, with the update on this one, they've actually now have a strategy screen which is actually turn-based. So the action on the ground takes place in real time, arcade style, which is a little frenetic for my liking. That's why I prefer prefer games like Civilization 6 because it's turn-based. But it'd be nice if Civilization took a leaf out of this mob's book and actually had battle screens separately from the overall gameplay, which is turn-based. So maybe they could learn something from this group. But what they're doing is they're allowing everyone. It's not going to be released until next year, but this is a pre-release that you can play. I've had a major technical issue with it. I only get about 2/3 of the screen covered with the actual game, and I still haven't worked out how the game dynamics work. And I've only got it probably about 10 days to play it before it expires. I didn't realise there's an expiry date on it. So the rush is on. So on the weekend I'll try to play it and give you some feedback. but it's had mixed reviews. But again, this is a really early release. It's not really even a beta release, so you've got to cut them some slack for that. But they want to develop the game with input from people who play it, so that's pretty good idea, and I think it's a good sign, really, if they take up these suggestions. I think that's the best way to learn how to play your game. Don't believe you've got all the clues in your development team. You should actually strive to ask other people what's going on, the people who actually play it. It sounds like a pretty good approach to me, and hopefully they get some good feedback from it. But I'm wondering whether they'll get any from me, because at the moment I don't think the game's going to run for me, unfortunately. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.